Title: 5 real-life horror stories that will make your skin crawl story. 1. The Hinterkaifeck murders in 1922. On a remote farm in Germany, the Gruber family was brutally murdered. The family of 6 was found dead in their home, with no apparent signs of a struggle or forced entry. However, the truly chilling part of the story was the events leading up to the murders. For days before the killings, the Grubers had reported strange occurrences on the farm. They noticed footprints in the snow leading to their house but never leading away, and heard unexplained noises in the attic. As it turns out, the murderer lived in the attic for several days before carrying out the murders, using the farm as his hideout. After the killings, the family's bodies were left to decay for several days, and during this time, the murderer continued to live on the farm, using the house as his shelter. Despite an extensive investigation, the killer was never caught, and the case remains one of the most eerie unsolved murders in history. Some believe the spirit of the family still haunts the farm as the land continues to be shrouded in mystery. Story 2. The Villisca Axe Murders in 1912. The Moore family, Josiah, Sarah, and their 4 children, along with 2 house guests, were brutally murdered in their sleep in the small town of Villisca, Iowa. The weapon used was an axe, and the murderer had made a chilling effort to clean up afterward, washing the axe in a nearby creek and covering the victims with bedclothes. What was even more horrifying was the complete silence surrounding the murder. Neighbors reported nothing unusual the night before, and the killer seemed to vanish into thin air. Despite numerous investigations and several suspects over the years, the crime remains unsolved. Some paranormal investigators believe the spirits of the victims still roam the house. Crawl. The Amityville Horror has become a fixture in pop culture. And to this day, people still debate whether the Lutz's experiences were real or simply a hoax. Story 4. The Disappearance of the Sodder Children. On Christmas Eve in 1945, a tragic fire broke out at the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. The fire killed 5 of the 10 children. But what makes this story so chilling is the suspicion that the children were never actually inside the house when it burned down. The fire broke out around 1 a.m., and by the time the fire department arrived, the house had already burned to the ground. The parents, George and Jenny Sodder, were devastated by the loss and began to search for answers. Despite their efforts to uncover the truth, the authorities insisted that the children had perished in the fire. However, the parents found no remains in the rubble, no bones or remains that could explain the tragic deaths. In the years that followed, the Sodders continued to remains unsolved, and their tragic loss continues to haunt those who hear the story. It is one of the most bizarre disappearances in American history, and to this day, the mystery of the missing children remains unresolved. Story 5. The unsolved murder of the Black Dahlia in 1947. Elizabeth Short, a 22-year-old woman, was found murdered in a vacant lot in Los Angeles. Her body had been severed at the waist, and she had been gruesomely mutilated. The case, dubbed the Black Dahlia murder, remains one of the most famous unsolved crimes in history. The details surrounding her murder were horrific. Her body was drained of blood and her mouth was cut into a grotesque smile. But the most chilling part of the story was the bizarre nature of the crime. Short's murder quickly became a media sensation, with countless theories emerging about the identity of the killer. Some believed she was the victim of a sadistic serial killer, while others suspected the involvement of people in Hollywood's elite circles. Despite an extensive investigation, no solid leads were ever found, and the case went cold. In the years following her death, several other women were murdered, in similar fashion, leading some to believe that Short's killer may have gone on to murder other victims. But to this day, the identity of the Black Dahlia's killer remains one of Los Angeles' most chilling and unsolved mysteries. The case continues to haunt those who research it, as the brutality of the crime and the lack of answers make it a truly terrifying story. These 5 real-life horror stories are as disturbing as they are puzzling. From the tragic and unexplained deaths of the Sodder children to the gruesome Black Dahlia murder, each of these stories leaves an unsettling feeling in your gut that lingers long after you've read them. They remind us that some things may never be fully explained, and some horrors remain hidden in the dark corners of history, forever haunting us.